Great. For those joining online, we'll get started here in Harmon Elementary in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Good. All right, so welcome everyone to the September 12th, 2022 regular board meeting of the Oakland Board of Education, where we are live at Harmon Elementary, and I've lost count now, but we are also coming to you via Zoom as well. So welcome to those online and those in attendance this evening. Laura, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Duell,
Here.
Mr. Wilson,
Here.
Dr. Middleton. Here. Ms. Kawhi. Here. Mr. Schwederman.
Here. Great. Everyone would please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, please have a motion to adopt this evening's agenda. So moved.
Second.
Laura.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Schwederman.
Aye.
Mr. Duell.
Aye. A motion please to approve the minutes of the August 8th, 2022 regular board meeting, work session, and a special meeting of September 1st, 2022.
So moved. Second.
Laura.
Dr. Middleton. Aye. Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Schwederman.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Duell.
Aye. Thank you. Now, Dr. Rankin, combinations of public comments.
Great, we do have a few guests, one is online, Zoom. We've got Mr. Doug Lane. I don't know that Gay might be with him or not, but Mr. Lane is a huge supporter of things here in Oakwood and various projects, and he wanted to talk a little bit about the Flourish campaign. Mr. Lane?
Can you see me?
Almost.
I can see you.
He has his camera.
Maybe check your camera, Mr. Lane.
Pardon?
Check your camera, make sure your camera is on.
Is your camera on?
Well, that'd be a good idea.
There you go.
Go. How's that? Better?
Great, good. So we have Mr. and Mrs. Lane, Doug and Gay Lane. Thanks for joining us. It's good to see you.
Nice
Good to see
too.
you. Wow.
Okay, it's all yours. Floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. I think I have 3 to 5 minutes at most. Well, as a graduate of Oakwood High School, I've had a great almost 6 decades, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come back to Oakwood from time to time and to be part of the Oakwood community. Before in the last week, I looked at the website, and it says that the Oakwood school community educates students to become ethical decision makers who achieve high life goals, take responsible risk, and contribute to the greater good of the world. And that their mission of the school system is to do what is best for the students. I couldn't agree more. A few years ago, not just words, but actions by adults of all kinds, residents, alumni, etc. They built a stadium for $4 million on behalf of the kids the students. And they did it not by taxing, but they did it by charitable gifts from their very hard-earned money. And today, they're doing it again with the Flourish campaign, led by Jane and Rick Schwartz, who contributed $2 million right up front. We have followed, the people have followed with widespread gifts from many areas. And the total now is almost 5.5 million. This time, though, it's for the performing and visual arts area, an area I know very little about. I can't sing, I can't draw, I can't play an instrument. My wife's pretty good at piano, but and can sing. But it's important. I believe in the old Greek philosophy, sports and arts. They're the important things. And so this is a big game changer for the students. It's going to allow them to better choir experience, orchestra, band, drawing, arts of all types. So I have a great desire that this be accomplished. As we now put it, I guess, plan is to put a spade in the ground in December. I don't see any reason why that won't happen. We just need to get to approximately $7 million from the 5.5 million that we have raised so far. And the Schwartzes have been wonderful in their leadership, and I'm sure we're going to get to the finish line by December. The people of Oakwood practice what they preach in that opening statement I made. They do it. It's all about the students. I thought back about my experience. My dad came to Oakwood from a little town in Illinois, about 10 miles from Decatur. It had about 100 people in the town. And he had been transferred by his company into Ohio. And he looked for a place to live. And he picked Oakwood because of its school system. He knew the value of a strong education. He'd grown up in Maplewood, New Jersey, from a relatively low-income family and gone to Yale on a scholarship. He wanted all of us, his kids, to go to college, and we all did. So I think these kids deserve a better performing arts and visual arts arrangement, and I think we need to go about the process of making it happen sooner rather than later. Gay and I have offered to add to our original gift an additional 500,000 if matched by other donors. And to date, about 250,000 has been matched. So I want to thank Oakwood for what it's done for me and for the opportunities to continue to be involved. And it's been a pleasure here. Gay, you have a few words you wanted to say, I think. So you don't get to just sit there. Go ahead.
I feel really strongly about supporting the campaign because of my involvement in high school with the theater arts. We produced musicals and I participated in anything and in any way I could. Backstage, was in the orchestra, the band, the choir. I would do anything except be on stage. I could be all the support people and I loved it. The Flourish campaign will provide students with unique experiences to learn about themselves, to make new friends, and to discover new talents. I think it's a wonderful addition to the school system, and I think it'll enhance everybody's lives and further enrich the community, which is already very special.
So we know that the school board is behind it. The people in Oakwood are behind it. And I just welcome the opportunity to express my thank you for you and your support. And if you have any questions of us, feel free to ask them. Nobody ever does, but you may, never know.
Let me look down the table here and see. No, it's not going to happen this time either, Mr. Blaine, but we certainly appreciate you speaking tonight on behalf of the campaign and all that you've done for the district. Thank you for your time this evening. And we do look forward to closing that gap that you discussed here in the next several weeks and months. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll continue with some commendations. First of all, Doug and Gay are just wonderful people. They have been in contact, and we've talked multiple times over the last several years. And actually, Mr. Lane was the catalyst in the conversation when we were opening Lane Stadium about how can we take and do even more with the private-public partnership that is going on. And he was critical to helping us get over that hump and to start thinking of some of these funding things differently. So they're wonderful people, and they're always together. It's always Doug and Gabe. So it's never one or the other. It's they're a partnership, and pretty special. Sorry, further accommodations or commendations. Sorry. So we have congratulations to the Oakwood High School cheerleaders for hosting a successful fundraiser campaign to support Dayton Children's On Our Sleeves. On Our Sleeves is a national movement to provide every family access to support for children's mental health. The Oakwood High School cheerleaders hosted a car wash and collected money at the Jamboree football game, and were able to raise $1,250 and to donate that to Dayton Children's, and that was at the Jamboree football game. Pretty special. Congratulations to the cheerleaders. Also, congratulations to the Oakwood High School Science Department on receiving the Toshiba American Foundation grant. The grant money is to be used to purchase an aquaponics system for Oakwood High School and the class. So the system takes the water and waste from fish and then uses it and its nutrients for the plants. It's a pretty cool concept, and everything to do with science is cool.
And you used to teach?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And aquaponics is a cool concept. And, it's all about the biology. Right. All right. And no public comments.
We're all set now. Moving to curriculum showcase, and Dr. Lang, if you would introduce our guests.
Yeah, sure. I'd like to welcome Dr. Paul Waller and PSU teachers with us, Ellen Randall and Jennifer Simpson, and they're going to share information about the advisory council, outline the current and their future goals.
Okay, so we started really full-time advisory system last year. We called it Timber, and this year we are calling it advisory, and we are sticking with that name for forever. There will be no more name changes. And next slide, please. You can just click through. Thank you. So advisory summit this summer was the first week after we got back, or after we got out for school, and teachers, counselors all met over at the junior high for 3 days, for 3 full days. And we really took the time to look at what we've done so far. We're only a year in, and determine where we want to go in the future with advisory. So where will we be in 10 years? When we talked as a group, we talked about how the goal of advisory is adult and student connections every single day, skill building, academic, social, and wellness, not just academic, professional development for advisory. We want teachers to be able to understand the goal of advisory just as much as we want students to. And so we're looking into professional development opportunities. The summit was probably the first one. We created community agreements among our advisories. We instated a no phones rule that is going good and bad. We have clear, yeah, it depends on, I have juniors, so we have clear expectations for staff and students. It is set at the beginning of every single day what you're supposed to do. It's announcements, if we have to do any logistical things, and then we really go into activities. We use a lot of food because most people love food and candy. So we use a lot of food and candy, and it's kind of just a place for connection and relationship building. We've realized in the past that not every kid has a connection in school, whether that's an adult or a child. And so advisory is supposed to be a place where they can just have one individual that they know sees them and cares about them. And that where they have positive students in their classes as well, that they can just honestly hang out with and connect with. People that maybe they don't see every day, people that they probably aren't in friend groups with. So it's just a fun opportunity to connect, build academic rapport, build connections with staff, etc.
That's all of our brainstorming, all the polka dots where everybody's choices, like who all agreed on the same thing, so.
Yeah, so we talked a lot about like what is working and advisory. Again, this is gonna be a long process. Like, it's not gonna go great. Kids, students, staff aren't gonna love it in the first few years. It's gonna be a bumpy road. But there are a lot of things working. And I see it, you see it every single day in my own advisory. So there are a lot of things working. Go ahead, Tracy. But there's a lot of things that are not working, and that's really what our goal is in the next 10 years, is to focus on those things. What is working and how can we weed out what isn't working? And that's gonna be probably a goal for what, the next 50, 60 years, a long
As the
time.
history teacher would say, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Yeah, so our goal is to look at those things and try and keep on keeping on.
So we came up with 3 things to focus on this year. Focusing on the consistency piece, making sure that we are intentional. So we have a weekly schedule. Every Monday is Mindful Monday. We have Take Time Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Thoughtful Thursday, and Fun Friday. And we make our activities fit those days. So every Monday, we're doing a mindful check-in, a grade check-in. We do get a DNF list every week to see how are our kids in our advisory doing, so we can keep tabs on all the pieces of our kiddos in our classes. We are intentionally using the time that we have to try to minimize interruptions to other class times. So pep rallies, instead of coming out of afternoon classes, next week's homecoming pep rally will be during our advisory block. Alice drill is going to happen on Wednesday during our advisory block. So as many things as we can get student council elections, class meetings into those timeframes, we're minimizing that disruption to the other classes that we did have to take a little class time from to get this full time in. So that's been very helpful, and I think teachers have appreciated that as well. It's a very predictable schedule, those are like routine, it's gone well. Our second goal was to focus on calm. Some of that's coming in our PD opportunities for teachers, giving them the information that they need. We're meeting again at the end of September, our advisory summit, doing a regular check-in to see how we're doing. And then finally, our connections and community piece of that. So high engagement ideas, things like that. Our groups have already completed their community agreements. My 7th graders finished them. I think the last ones, we finished ours last week. And we had ultimate challenge happening in the junior high. I don't know if all of your kids got to do that or not. They will this year. And then high school's running a One for the Ages competition. So junior high, we do a big thing at the end of the year on our half day, and we're embedding challenges throughout the year. And high school, she's in charge of the high school piece, One for the Ages. She can tell you about that piece.
So Dr. Waller is famous for saying it's going to be one for the ages. Apparently everything is one for the ages, but the kids seem to think that is funny. So we went with it, anything to create humor. And it's competitions where they can earn points. And then at the end of each quarter, the winning advisory will get a prize. Dr. Waller has also offered for the winning teacher to teach one class period of their day. So the teachers are competing, and they really want him to teach like a clay lab in art for a period, which we all love. So that's staff buy-in, student buy-in. And then each advisory is nominating one kid per quarter that maybe doesn't shine in particular, but the teacher sees them shining. And so they're nominated and they're recognized for their input. In particular, I have a couple of kids in my advisory who, you know, aren't the ones who are extroverted, the ones who are talking all the time, but they're always there to help out. And so we want to recognize those students for their impact too.
And then so we just want to make sure to stress to everybody, students, teachers, everyone involved, that advisory is an opportunity to live well, create connection, and engage in action. It can change daily, weekly, or monthly, and can be flexible with audience versus staff, students, etc. So consistency, flexibility to meet the needs of our kids on a daily basis.
Thank you. Any questions?
How long is it each day?
21.
Yeah. So it's after 4th period, right before lunch. Perfect. We can get a pep rally and we're really crafty. We can make it happen. Any other questions? Hopefully your kiddos are coming home having great things to say about it.
I can say, yes, my seventh graders are like enjoying it.
I know there's two seconds.
Thank
Very nice. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Good to know.
Gonna move into board reports and,
I'll start.
okay.
If that's all right. So for the Oakwood Alumni Association, working with class reps on websites to post reunion details. So if you are an Oakwood grad and have connections with lots of other alumni, please push those out and let our grads know what's going on. Comeback Lumberjack is coming up very, very soon, and many classes, the class year is ending, and if your class ended in the year, the number 2 or 7, they'll gather on homecoming weekend for reunion. So there you go, 2 or 7. Homecoming and reunion weekend schedule is as follows. Thursday, September 22nd is the St. Andrews Educational Hall of Fame banquet. Miss Deborah Anderson, Miss Nancy I say Kepke, thank you. And Mr. Douglas Shively were selected for inductions this year. Friday, September 23rd, the Boosters tailgate football game and comeback Lumberjacks, and then Saturday the 24th is homecoming building tours, and all are welcome to attend. And those are always very interesting, and you get all kinds of things out of those. So definitely recommend. In terms of fundraising, working with OSF on fundraising efforts for the Flourish campaign. And that's what I'm going to talk about next. Let's talk about the Oakwood Schools Foundation. The Oakwood Schools Foundation grant application is still open and will remain open until Friday, September 23rd. Grants are one of the most direct ways that OSF partners with the Board of Education to support excellence and innovation. So if you're a teacher or a staff member out there, there are still grant opportunities out there. Please make sure you go on the website and fill that out. The annual Comeback Lumberjack is Friday, September 23rd, and that's going to be at Moraine Country Club. And registration for the event is still open, but you have to go to the OSF website. And OSF is proud to continue to build its community partnerships, including with parents of the Baseball Association, the Dugout Club, to enhance and improve the baseball and softball complex at Oakwood High School. And the Oakwood Schools Foundation is successfully approaching its $6 million mark, raised in just over 2.5 years, which is by far the largest private fundraising campaign in the history of Oakwood. And pleased with the progress, and it just goes to show the commitment and care of our alumni and community at large. Thank you for all of you for your support and advocacy, and each of you are helping to make this happen. And we talked to Doug and Gay Lane, and I think that covers it for the OSF.
Great, thanks, John. Turn to Lauren.
I don't have much of a report on fine arts and athletic boosters, other than you could support the boosters if your child is participating in band, orchestra, speech and debate, theater, choir, visual arts, Acts Media yearbook, any of those things. You can purchase a banner, and that's part of the Oakwood Schools website, fine arts booster section, and athletic boosters. Obviously the same case, just a reminder that if you want to support them, in addition to banners, there's for sports, there's programs, and you can shop spirit wear at the home games, and that's all I've got.
Thank you. Laura.
Yes, so I reached out to all 3 new PTO presidents. I'll start with Harmon. So Harmon is having a Chipotle night on September 21st. So instead of cooking dinner, go to Chipotle. Will benefit Harmon. There will be a book fair at Harmon October 3rd through the 7th, and they're hoping to have a family night that night. And Kona Ice generously offered to be there to raise additional funds for Harmon. There is a bike and walk to school day on October 5th. The PTO finalized spirit wear and provided t-shirts to new students to welcome them to Oakwood. And a lot of people are anticipating this, but Harmon Trivia Night is back November 18th at the DCC. Hopefully the tickets will go on sale next week. And then the Harmon PTO also donated funds to Harmon for the Dayton Philharmonic enrichment activities. Great. As far as the Smith PTO, they are busy planning fall fundraising and activities. They had a successful open house. They wrapped up spirit wear orders. Deadline was today. There's a newly installed outdoor classroom area, which looks really nice. They are looking for parent volunteers in the cafeteria and the library. October 5th is the walk to school day, and the PTO will have water and granola bars for the students. And then they're also going to be doing autumn afternoons each Tuesday after school in October. The PTO will be hosting different activities, sales outside of Smith. And I do have a report from the junior high school, except my Word document is not letting me scroll down, but they have a lot going on too. So let's see if I can get that working and then we can come back.
We'll skip it there, then we might come back to you maybe
Okay, yeah.
there.
For policy update, we do have our fall Neola policy update meeting next week. And then should be able to bring some suggestions on any necessary policy updates to the board in October. The Oakwood Technology Department worked, as I kept you guys updated, worked last year and finalizing the Oakwood Technology Blueprint, which has 4 themed areas: equity, honing. Scroll down here. My scroll works.
Yes.
Security and future, and goals in those 4 areas. And that document is available and ready to be shared. That's my understanding from the technology department. And so that's good work that they've been doing on coming together and really kind of developing some goals in those themed areas so that we can take our technology in the district into the future. Those are my 2 board reports.
Great, thank you.
Mine's working now.
Perfect.
So anyway, sorry about that, the junior high school PTO reported that they had a great start to the year. The PTO sponsored the open house and a back to school lunch. Their directories were completed and distributed. There is a new parent welcome on September 29th, but everybody is welcome to that, not only new families. They are also encouraging people to sign up for the DLM rewards, Kroger rewards, and Amazon Smile rewards, because the school does get money from that. Also, teacher grants are available. The fall grant deadline is September 23rd. And they're encouraging teachers to apply. There will be a winter grant cycle as well. And then homecoming is coming up. So the dance will be September 24th from 7:30 to 10:30 in the West Gym. And the PTO is looking for volunteers to chaperone.
Great. Thank you. And I have one too on behalf of the board, provide the superintendent search update. And my favorite, and I know it's yours, I'm going to read to you for a minute. But this will be updated on the website, on the board webpage in minutes. So you'll be able to get it a couple different ways. As a reminder, the Oakwood Schools Board of Education prioritized a great start to the school year and has encouraged the staff's focus on that objective during August and September. On September 1st, the board held a special meeting in executive session to continue its preliminary work and due diligence. At the conclusion of that meeting, board members determined the current plan is to pursue external candidates who best align to the superintendent profile, which will be developed by the search process, and that best fit the #OneOakwood mindset. The board also continues its work to identify an interim superintendent who will begin serving January 1st of 2023. The board plans to name the interim superintendent in mid-October. The board continues to meet with its search partner, K-12. On October 10th, the board and K-12 will conduct an organizational meeting. During that meeting, the board in part will authorize a district and community-wide engagement strategy to be led by K-12. That engagement is expected to begin November 8th. Board members have received questions about how individuals or organizations can participate in the search process. Following the October 10th organizational meeting, more specifics will be shared about how stakeholders can and will be engaged. If you are interested in sharing your thoughts about the attributes or qualifications you hope to see in the next Oakwood School Superintendent, please send an email to Debbie Campbell of K-12 at dcampbell@k12consulting.net. I can read that email address to you, but I would just refer you to the webpage and it should be up there by now. So that is the September update on behalf of the Board of Education. Turning to budget and finance, Laura.
Thank you. So just for the board, as a reminder, on November 8th of 2022, we have our permanent improvement renewal levy on the ballot. That is a renewal levy, which means no increase in taxes. This is a 5-year levy that generates $500,000 for capital improvements throughout the district. And some examples of those improvements are roof repairs, plumbing throughout the district, parking lots, vehicles, computers, and the list could go on. But that is, again, November 8th, renewal levy, no new taxes for 5 years for permanent improvements. And then on your agenda for this evening, I have the normal financial report for the month of August 2022 for your consideration.
Great, thank you, Laura. Moving to unfinished business.
We vote on
Was
the,
there a
I'm
motion?
sorry, yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
Miss,
Oh, it does say information. That should be an actionable item.
no, it's my fault. May I please have a motion to approve the agenda item at 5A?
So. Second.
Laura.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mr. Schmiedeman,
Aye.
Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Dr. Middleton. Aye. Mr. Duell.
Aye. Once again, my apologies. Number 6 on our agenda, unfinished business. Hearing none. Number 7, new business by the board. Seeing none. Administrative report from superintendent recommendations, Dr. Ramey.
Thank you. So item 8A is presented for review as the updated supplemental index reflecting the clerical change. The name of one of the supplementals was from a project support. It's changed to a circle of friends. You're going to see later in the agenda that we're approving somebody to do that work. We just wanted to make sure that the name is aligned. So that's just information. Item 8B is recommendation is made to approve the attached agreement for transportation between Centerville City School District and the Oakwood City School District for the 22-23 school year.
A motion please to approve the recommendation at 8B.
So moved.
Second.
So just real quick, we've had this for the last 3 years and it has worked really well. Centerville has been very accommodating, very top quality bus drivers, great service that we've been getting. This is for the transportation before school care, and then also the after or the pickup. So this is a really good thing, very reasonable, and Centerville does a great job. So that's what we recommend.
Thank you. Laura.
Dr. Middleton,
Yeah, yay.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Mr. Schmiedeman,
Aye.
Mr. Duell.
Are we all just saying yeah?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The Laura thing is
Aye.
throwing me off a little bit.
Aye.
Aye.
I couldn't let that one go.
No. I don't-
Dr. Ramey, continue with personal items, please.
All right, so if we could take items 9A and B along with items 10A through K together, please.
Sure, may I have a motion, please, to approve the recommendations at 9A through 9B and 10A through 10K.
So moved.
Second.
Laura.
Second, I'm sorry.
Okay, Laura.
Thank you. Mr. Schmiedeman,
Aye.
Ms. Kawhi. Aye. Dr. Middleton. Aye. Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Mr. Duell.
Aye. And Laura, when you're ready, if you would enter us into executive session.
So we need a motion to enter into executive session for the specific purposes of considering the appointment,
in employment of a public employee or official, and matters required to be kept confidential by federal law or rules or state statute.
A motion, please, to move into executive session.
So moved.
Laura.
Mr. Wilson,
Aye.
Ms. Kawhi,
Aye.
Dr. Middleton,
Aye.
Mr. Schwederman,
Aye.
Mr. Duell.
Aye. The board will now move into executive session, on the conclusion of which it will exit executive session and immediately move to adjourn, taking no further action on behalf of the board or the district. So that will conclude tonight's regular meeting, and thank you all for coming. Have a good evening.